Absolute pain, folks. Notre Dame really getting blown out, falling 33-20 against Louisville. Lots to talk about, guys. We'll keep an eye on the YouTube chat live. We'll take your super chats and questions. But yeah, Tim, we'll just go to you first. Your initial reaction to the game, and I'm going to need something different than what you told me before we started recording.
We got to mute that. No, I mean, let's just jump right into it, right? The 30-game ACC. Hold on, I'm getting a few things cleaned up here. The ACC streak is gone. Notre Dame's last loss against the ACC quote unquote regular season was a top 10 battle with Miami. Obviously, tonight was a ranked team on the road. They didn't show up just like that night in Miami. But I mean, the final stat, it's crazy. Notre Dame in this 30-game winning streak. I just started going over all this tons of stats, trying to find stuff. And Notre Dame had outranked their opponents 26 times. Only 4 times as a team outrushed Notre Dame, and Notre Dame still won. Tonight, you throw that away. Louisville, did they get 200 yards maybe? It was unbelievable. How about this little tidbit for Notre Dame Nation out there? Marcus Freeman, Mike. Notre Dame is ranked number 10 tonight. Marcus Freeman is yet to win a game against a ranked team when ranked number in the top 10. I found that interesting. Top 10 lost to Cincinnati, lost to Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State, Marshall, Ohio State, Louisville. No pattern, I guess. Yeah. I just find it interesting. Notre Dame is a top 10 team, yet can't win as a top 10 team. So what does that make you as a program? I guess we could get into that. I find that interesting. They'll be ranked next week against USC, so that'll be fun to see if he could pull off a win. But he won't be ranked in the top 10, so throw that away.
I don't want to talk about the USC game.
Oh no, it's going to be it will be what it is. But the announcers, and I'm sure the spin coming out of this will be, well, it's their third tough game in a row. Come on. They're playing ACC teams, for crying out loud. These aren't juggernauts. Okay, come on. This Louisville team is not playing anyone good, and Notre Dame played like crap tonight. So I think we need to be brutally honest. Hopefully people want to be honest. I thought Parker, I don't know what this guy does half the time. You have Sam Hartman, and it's 3rd and 5. I'm going to run dive. The counter to the Chris Tyree with the fumble was a little too cute. It goes back to one of the things in the Buckeyes trying to be cute. And man, just sometimes just line up and play football. And I feel like this team it's going, but Mike, they do so many things. And I think a lot of people watching might agree with this. Is Freeman always talks about he wants to be multiple. I want to do a lot of things. Yeah. They're never in the same place every play. There were 14 personnel tonight. They had 4 freaking tight ends on the field. Shift to trips. Who cares? Still 3-by-1. So you're telling me you're going to have a wide open pass attack with 4 wide receivers, all as tight ends? I found that interesting. They go from 22 personnel to 11 to 12 to 13 every single play. And on defense, it's just they're all over the place. I mean, defense has played their tails off, right? They have, and they probably got worn down tonight. So as life goes, it's frustrating. I'll be very honest with you. I was like, that was the team didn't even show up tonight. That's hard to say because obviously as a guy who's coached and, players show up and they're putting effort and they're doing things, but man, they just didn't make any plays. Certain players, certain 6-year seniors in position to make plays again tonight and don't. It's been the theme for certain people's careers. Same thing. It goes on and on. The offensive line, what in the living hell has happened to them the last 2 weeks? And one more thing, I just want a quick 30-second rant here is, to me, my humble opinion, as someone who's coached in a lot of football games in my life, I think this is a Marcus Freeman game for whatever reason. And I'm sure it's all about the analytics and, trying to rest players and whatnot. The absolute Mike, it looked like a spring football game. I got this fly bugging on me. It looked like a spring football game in the first half. They played multiple offensive linemen. What the heck are you rotating centers? Christoph gets bull rushed. Billy Schrauf gets bull rushed. But same thing on defense. All the offense was absolutely maddening how much rotation they did. It was almost like, well, we're just going to keep guys fresh, get to the second half. Bit him in the butt is what it did. Bit him in the butt. So get to some questions. I'm frustrated. I see Darren just said, preach, Tim. Yeah, it's a frustrating night. I felt like this team didn't take Louisville, respect Louisville, and that goes back to this whole rotation, this whole multiple play 82 guys tonight. So it is what it is. And when your best player on offense is a walk-on no one has ever seen play, that was the night it was, fellas.
Oh, God. Yeah. Tim, there's just so much to blame. I mean, just so much bad. I mean, I think the defense early, I mean, through the first half, the defense did their job. But I mean, pull up the drive chart. Let's pull up the drive chart.
No, I mean, the defense, they played their butts off. They did until the point they broke.
4 plays, 29 yards, pick. 4 plays, 11 yards, right? Punt. 5 plays, 7 yards, punt. The touchdown drive. Hello, Jordan Faison, best player on the team.
Yeah.
Fumble. What was the fumble? I can't even remember, Tim.
That's the Tyree, multiple times tonight. Notre Dame was in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
On the little crossbuck sweep thing?
Yeah, the little fake. He was a wing. It was a wing counter. Fumble.
Okay, so Tim, punt, missed opportunity. You get them to turn over, have to settle for a field goal. Punt, field goal, downs, INT, downs, garbage time, touchdown. And then, I mean, they just did nothing offensively. I mean, I don't have too much bad to say about the defense, honestly, right now. I thought they played their tails off. Situationally, pretty bad stuff. Maris Leofau, bro, what are you doing grabbing the Louisville offensive lineman's face mask when the play is 15 yards from, just absolutely baffling. But Tim, the offense, no identity.
None.
No identity.
None.
Whatsoever.
None.
The running back rotation is weird.
Yeah.
The receivers are just not good. Mitchell Evans is a freak show. I mean, Sam Hartman he's a truck at quarterback if you give him time. That's what Goolsby said. It's what you've said. If you give him time, he's going to shred you apart. But when you don't, he's not Lamar Jackson back there. He's not going to, make guys miss or Ben Roethlisberger face, put his hand in the defensive lineman's face mask and just will the ball down the field. That's just not Sam Hartman. So he wasn't perfect by any stretch. Could Rico Flores, we were texting Tim with Goolsby, could Rico Flores have made a better play on the ball? Sure, but Hartman should not have thrown the ball to the inside like that that's where the DB was. He's playing inside. So Hartman didn't play a very good game.
It's
terrible.
Yeah, and the whole point about the trucker trailers, as we've talked for a few years about, is obviously Hartman is a truck. I mean, he's not just sitting there, but a truck needs wheels, and Notre Dame doesn't have wheels on the outside, and that goes back to, my God, Goolsby and I. You know what? We should have stuck to our guns and said C-
for the
receiver group. Goolsby and I were texting. He was like,
I'll take the blame.
I don't want hate mail, Tim. And I was like, man, I'm going to go with you
for that one. That's
no hate mail, because we saw all this hype for 9 months on these guys, and I'm like, Mike, I'm going back to my spring game where you got mad at me, as all the fans did, when I said Greathouse. Oh, Greathouse is unbelievable, and I'm like, he caught 10 hitches, but no one wanted to hear that. But that's fine. Mike.
Okay,
Tim,
him alone.
10 hitches, and everyone went nuts.
I'm just saying, if you just look at him as a player, he is a very good player. He's not the problem here, Tim.
I know he's not. I'm just using that as an example of the receiver core in general. My God, the fastest dude, the best guy is a walk-on? Is that the soccer guy? Is he Shane Walton or is it lacrosse? Is it something like
Lacrosse,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when that's your deep threat now, and what are we, game 6, 7? I don't even know what game we're at anymore. But no, it's frustrating. Once again, Tobias, did he even have a catch? I saw 5 out there a ton. I would love to know, but this goes back to my point on the offense comes out and they're like, oh, we're gonna play all of these guys. We're gonna just boom, it's gonna be a cool kumbaya session. And Audric Estime gets like 0 touches. He's not on the field, Mike, till the 3rd series. So did he, which I texted you and Goolsby, like, did he PO Freeman for not taking the knee and screwing up his analytics and his little field goal philosophy he wanted to double down on Monday, which was weird. But I don't know, man. It was frustrating. No rhythm. So they came out tonight. So they watched film on Louisville and decided we're going to attack them vertically. We're going to attack them down the field and not do the run game. It backfired. Let's be honest. It backfired. They got no identity, no rhythm on offense, and Louisville just got momentum. Going back to your point with defense, those dudes played their butts off. They give up the opening drive touchdown. The opening drive touchdown after the interception from Hartman. Outside of that, they bended, didn't break, and forced a ton of punts. And Notre Dame's old line was just atrocious, but that's the rhythm. I wrote that down here on a sticky note where, like, to me, that goes back to coaching. The coaches went into this game saying, we're going to rotate everybody. Kristofik, you're going to play center. Why? I would love to know why rotations happened where they did. So Schrauf went from left guard to right guard. Okay.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Tons to talk about. I have 19 comments queued up, Tim.
There, I'm going to go on mute. You read them and I'll comment.
Yeah, the super chats have been flowing. So we're very appreciative of the supports. We're going to read a quick ad because I got to do what I'm told or I'll get fined. Quick ad. It's here from My Perfect Franchise. If you're a displaced corporate executive or wanting to put your career in your own hands, maybe an experienced entrepreneur wanting to diversify, well, Andy Ludicky can help you out. He's a huge college sports fan and franchise veteran, having owned multiple franchises and businesses. Using Andy's expertise, he helps others find their American dream through a very thorough consultation and evaluation process. Give Andy a call, 404-973-9901, and put your life and career in your own hands. Best of all, his services are 100% free to use, so what do you have to lose? Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net. Collins says Notre Dame's refusal to pay for Ludwig is rearing its ugly head. Parker's awful, and Freeman looks lost until this institution decides winning a championship is a priority. Nothing will change. # fire Parker. So there you go. Parker definitely won. He's a big part of the struggles today. I think if the offense has just no identity, that a lot of that falls on the offensive coordinator. I mean, the players have to execute, but Tim, with the talent on that offense, it shouldn't look like that. Tim, do you have any quick thoughts on that?
It was just frustrating. I mean, there was times where I sent you guys a couple screenshots. It's like, I mean, does Parker can he count? So when he's got 8 blockers and they have 10 in the box, you can't win. But he did this multiple times. Even the TV announcers were starting to count like, oh my God, look at all these guys in the box. You can't win. And there's times where the whole O-line and the tight ends, everyone's got a hat on a hat, and there's an extra guy, an extra fitter. You can't block that guy. And that's the frustrating thing multiple times on third downs. Just not like sometimes in a game, you're going to be like, hey, we suck up front. We're not blocking anybody. Hartman, go find the open dude. And they just didn't do that. It was really frustrating. I mean, Parker the last couple of weeks has just been maddening. Just, to chart, to watch. It's been exhausting.
I don't understand with the 6th-year quarterback why Notre Dame doesn't check. I don't really understand that. The check with knees that everyone loved last year with Pine. Um, I, I don't understand why I mean, Hartman
But he,
can't go up there and have an option to change a play. I don't, because you don't see that. I don't really
no, they
understand.
don't do much. Every now and then you'll see Hartman look to the side. Very rare. And in situations like that, it's a call. They practice at 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3. This is going to be our call on this front. This is what we're seeing. So they're prepping that stuff during the week. But it's like there's gotta be something off of some of this stuff at times, and that's what's so exhausting. You can't run in the A gap every freaking time on 3rd and 2 against 10 in the box. It's a numbers game once again, man. Just because you bring in a lot of tight ends, they're going to bring everyone and their mother in the box too. It's
Yeah.
math, and when you have a quarterback that doesn't run, they have an extra fitter, which is their strong safety, up in the hole a ton. Going back to Duke and Louisville, I want to count maybe 5-6 tackles between Duke and Louisville. Strong safety coming off the edge, free, getting a tackle from behind because you can't account for that guy. There's got to be times where you just say, screw it, we're going to throw the ball 55 times and just go 4 wides and just try and pick them apart. And especially, Mike, when you come out and you don't establish the run. So they establish this philosophy right from the get-go. We're going to be aggressive and throw every down. And they got picked, and you're behind 7-0.
Yeah. Tim, we got an answer
Go
from
ahead.
Joe Altz on the offensive line rotation. Tweet from Tyler Horka. Joe Altz says it was always in the game plan to rotate guard/center on the Irish offensive line tonight. Didn't seem to work so well.
His performance, by the way, Joe Alt's been freaking amazing every single snap he's ever taken at Notre Dame. He really has. Going back to his freshman years, I remember you and I texting during the Purdue game in 21 where you're like, Tim, that's 45. That's Joe Alt's tight end. He's blocking his butt off when Kyron Williams breaks that 50-yard run. He was horrible tonight. Oh, my God. He's getting bull rushed like he looked like me playing left tackle.
Yeah.
Back in my high school days. What the hell? It's just bad. It is a bad day. Benjamin Morrison looked horrible. So when your 2 best future NFL first-round picks stink tonight, yeah, it's a common theme all the way around.
Wicked Bronco Production says Jared Parker has to go. I thought Tommy was bad, but this dude refused to throw deep against good teams. Our receivers can't be this bad. Whereas Greathouse, take Audric out on short yardage, give me a real offensive coordinator. The thing about Greathouse that doesn't make sense, and I appreciate the generous super chat. Is he healthy enough to play, or is he not, Tim?
He was out there a couple times.
I
right?
know, but he didn't start. Like, he didn't play a lot. Like, I don't get, like, can you play or can you not play?
If it's a hamstring, no, I agree. If he's out there, so he was only out there to run a hitch or run or just block a couple times. He's 19, right? I only saw him out there a handful of times.
Yeah, so
he wasn't out there a lot early, so which just goes to the bag. He probably was tight, wasn't feeling good. It was a cold night in Louisville. They probably just saved him a whole nother week. I mean, Thomas was non-existent as well, and he's coming off a hamstring. So what did they really gain with those 2 guys coming back? Should have just kept them out and just gone on to something different.
Yeah, and the third down, the third down play calling and just execution's been terrible.
Brutal.
Notre Dame was so bad on third downs last week, and then
what were they tonight, Mike?
3 of 13.
Yeah.
And then 0 of 2 on fourth downs. So that's 3 of 15.
And the 4th downs were at the 4th quarter, so that's when Freeman.
A weird call was that.
Yeah, for the other people watching, it's like, you're still in the ball game. It's 24-13. I know your D's a little tired. They have Plummer. He's not gonna shred you for crying out loud. Toughen up, stop him, get the ball back. And it's like he just went for it all there, and then that's ball game. That's ball game. Bad. I did not agree with that. It's 10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. So this is a good super chat from Theodore. He says, Elko clearly devised a defensive game plan strategy to stifle our offense, and now it's on tape. Do you think Parker has any answer to adjust? Tim, do you remember what I said back to the NC State game when Notre Dame came out and stunk? I was like, the blueprint is there. You send the house at Hartman, and when you bring guys, you're most likely going to stop the run as well, because you just have more guys in the box, and make Notre Dame's receivers beat you,
Yeah.
and they're just not going to.
It
So
goes back to the Navy.
It's not like
game.
a big, mystery here. You make Notre Dame's receivers beat you, and they're just not.
No,
It's
they're not. They're just not, and they're not. I mean, this goes back to my favorite quote from Tim Brown, which everyone loved, the hero ball, blaming Tommy Rees, but that was the offense, was Michael Mayer. He was the dude, started with him and then expanded everywhere else. That's why they ran the ball so much last year. Same thing with this year. Evans is clearly an NFL tight end. He is freaking believable. So the offense is going to evolve around him, which goes back to, why didn't you come out and try and run the damn ball? That was really frustrating, because they had some nice runs. Jeremiah Love had some nice runs here and there. Estime looked injured. Maybe that's why he didn't play till the third series. Was he just banged up this week? They're holding him out. He had zero gas whatsoever. So, hey, if he doesn't have gas, it's going back to your greathouse point. Then just sit down. Jeremiah Live, we're going to roll with you, buddy. You're going to get 22 carries tonight.
To Theodore's question, do you think Parker has any answers to adjust? God, I hope so. Dennis, $2. No comment here. We'll look for you in the chat, but appreciate the support. Isaac says, this is going to sound dramatic, but I'm not kidding. I'd rather watch Minchinger and Jelly the rest of the season.
For what? Who's he throwing to? The same guys Hartman's throwing to.
They need to win football games.
Yes.
You go to Minchinger and Jelly, you play for next season. As a fan, that sounds great, but if you're a coach and you're coaching for your job, you need to win as many games as you can. I understand that fans are like, this is done. I don't want to watch on Saturdays, play the young guys. The coaches can't do that. But I appreciate the super chat. Chris says, if we lose to USC, do we bail on Hartman and develop a quarterback that's not a rental bad loss? Terrible third down calls. Go Irish. Love the show. Appreciate you, Chris. I think we kind of just answered that there. Look,
you got to win games. Seriously, man, you cannot go 6-6 this year. Or 5. You have SC, and then you have Clemson, and then the other games are Pitt, Wake, and Stanford. Those are three wins right there.
Wake played Clemson tough today. Who knows, man?
Oh, Clemson's average. Clemson's Notre Dame as well. They don't have outside receivers, and their quarterback's a spaz. Every time I turn on Klubnik, just looks like a chicken without a head running around. He's nuts.
Yeah.
But SC is going to be not fun. I truly believe. And then, do you win out and you still got a shot at 9-3, and you're going to play in the Gator Bowl, right? 2 years in a row. So there you go.
Yeah. We'll have Goolsby on tomorrow night, I'm assuming. But I know he's gonna throw a victory parade about Sam Hartman, but I still have zero issues with that move. Well, you bring in Sam Hartman. Look, Tim, no one wants to, like, these colleges, they don't want to have to go to the transfer portal. They want to develop high school quarterbacks. You go to the transfer portal when you need to do that to improve your quarterback room. And Notre Dame had to do that because it was Tyler Buckner and Drew Pine.
Well, it's the same thing at defensive end. The defensive end room is atrocious, so they had to get Baptiste, or they wouldn't have a really good defensive end this year. It's the transfers they brought in have all made sense. They've all played and done the things that they needed, so it makes sense. I don't think you bail on Hartman after tonight. It was a horrible night. They struggled last week as well. He was not, man, it's hard because, once again, the quarterback, the head coach, the OC, those are the three that go on the chopping block. They just do after games like this. So I think it starts from the top. I don't know what Parker's doing sometimes. I really don't. It's frustrating. And we've even talked about this. It's easy to break down Central Michigan and Tennessee State, and everyone's doing backflips. And the Power 5 games, NC State now was a 1-score game until turnover Central in the fourth quarter made that score bigger. Now you got 3 straight games where Hartman and Parker are bad together. As far as points go, when you look at Ohio State, Duke, and Louisville as a group, they moved the ball, had really good efficiency against Ohio State, and they put the ball in. Last week was just up and down like crazy, and tonight was just a mess. Tonight was a mess. I mean, seriously, Mike. I mean, Eli Raridan, who's been out forever, was out there a ton. It almost felt like they tried to involve him. I mean, Cooper Flanagan was in, I think, Mike, in the first or second series. Cooper Flanagan. Nothing against Cooper. You know I love De La Salle. That's one of your favorite guys. He's in so damn early. I'm like, why?
You know the answer.
My answer is this free. I think Freeman, I truly don't think he had any respect for Louisville, and he was going to use this to play a bunch of guys, do what we got to do, get a win, and go play SC. That's what it felt like watching the game.
I would disagree with that. I think they're the more tight ends because they're receivers.
Oh, no, but I'm talking the Mike Cooper Flanagan. Why not stays more? They played Mike. Going back to the old line rotation, when Joe Alt's an All-American, future first-round draft pick, hey, we're going to rotate guys tonight. That's instantly as a coach telling players this is how we're looking at this game. It's like, no, you go into the game to win the damn football game, not the, hey, we're going to rotate guys freely, guys, so don't be shocked if you come out. And I'm Zeke Correll, who's taking every damn snap this year, and all of a sudden I'm out of the ball game. Man, I don't know. That's the frustrating part for me watching tonight, was seeing that early in the game, and that was the mindset that lasted 4 quarters.
Folks, when you come to South Bend for a game, you got to make time for Augie's Locker Room. They have a wide selection of Notre Dame Stadium pieces, jerseys, helmets, autographs, and one-of-a-kind Rockney items. You can find exclusive Joe Montana side items and famous sculptor Jerry McKenna's replicas of the bronze statues around the stadium. And Augie gets new stuff in all the time. If he doesn't have it in store, give him a call, and he will find it for you. 574-277-6363. Visit Augie at 1811 South Bend Avenue and see the vintage helmet display dating back to 1890. It's got some amazing stuff. You're going to want to check it out. Thank you to Augie's Locker Room for sponsoring the show. Mark Washington, $5 super chat. Guys, please, when you get the super chats, we would love to, address your comments. But if you forget to do it, like Mark did here, you just need to post in the chat. Continue to post in the chat, and I'll see your comment to go with it. But otherwise, like, we have 1,400 people in here, lots of comments, so it's tough for me to catch it. So please post it. Michael says nothing to say anymore. Just another wasted night. Greets to all around the world. Michael, appreciate you popping in and supporting the show. Patrick says Sam Fartman stink. Patrick, thank you for the super chat. Wicked Bronco Productions, generous $20 super chat. Parkman Freeman just wasted a year for Sam freaking Hartman. Notre Dame needs to open the damn checkbook and get an OC like Sean Lewis. Golden not blessing. Plummer, Audric deserves 18 rushes a game. Any reaction from recruits, Mike? I am not going to be getting recruit reactions from this. No one there. Audric with Tim, 10 carries for 20 yards. That's something we haven't even really talked about tonight, was Notre Dame with 44 rushing yards, and the sack adjusted rushing yards was 81. But still, like, can that even be right? I don't know if that's even. Hold on, let me look at this.
I'm looking at it. They had 44 as a team when you take.
So 44 as a team, but But then how was sack adjusted rushing yards 81 yards for Notre Dame?
I don't know, because they have -1 as a team, so they must have taken a knee, and then you have.
Yeah, but this is only
-12.
Regardless, terrible running the football.
Yeah, exactly. And they ran for 185 on 40 rushes.
Yeah.
So there you go. Unbelievable. It's just brutal.
Yeah. I mean, Tim, in my time covering Notre Dame, this is up there. Was kind of the most. I mean, Michigan 2019 was the most deflating loss, but this one is up there. That was tough, man.
No, it's up. Well, it's up there because once again, you. I mean, you're 3rd and 18. Do we have to relive this? You're 3rd and 18. A drop DJ Brown pick from beating Ohio State and being in the top 5. But does losing that deal or winning that deal lose to Duke? Who knows? I still think they're a better team than Duke, which they did tonight. Happen. No, it sucks because Notre Dame's in the top 10, and here you go, starting to think Notre Dame's back, and they're gone. They're done. They're done for the year. So they're done. Easy as that. I mean, the odds of them going 10-2 are extremely slim with this football team, with this personnel, with these outside receivers. They're not. 9-3 is the goal. It is. It's the goal. And you're going to be playing in the Outback Bowl or the Citrus Bowl, and roll from there.
Yeah, what a season. I feel like I've aged so much this year. Wicked Bronco Production, really appreciate the generous super chat.
Yes.
Relic says, I mean this as profoundly as you could take a Notre Dame's identity in my lifetime has been reduced to just being a signature win for another program. Damn.
Yeah. It was a lot of those, my friend. A lot of those.
Yeah, they took down the goalposts in Louisville for this win.
Yeah, just since Freeman's been here, for crying out loud, he's got Marshall and Louisville, big old fatheads now in their football hallways for the rest of their lives. So there you go. No, there's been tons of them over the years.
Yeah,
it's just exhausting because because we're gonna hear this from the media, and who knows what Freeman even said tonight, about playing the 3 ranked teams in a row. It is true. It hasn't happened since 2003. It's been a long time. I get it, but it's ACC. You're not playing monsters of the Midway. God bless Dick Buckus. Every single week. I'm gonna say it. What the hell, Hey, you want to complain about this schedule? It's not the SEC, for crying out loud, right? So all these people are like, "Oh, I want Notre Dame to play in the SEC." No, you don't. No, you don't.
Man, when you said,
he's nice. You got 30 wins in a row.
When you say, I'm going to say it, I'm like, oh my God, because I do shows with Mike Goolsby. And when he says that, and then I'm like, oh God, was he?
No, it's
that was nothing, Tim.
No, I left out something, but that's okay.
Okay.
I left out something. So
another generous super chat from Wicked Bronco Production said Notre Dame should never get dominated up front by Louisville. Joel and Blake Fisher got dominated. How Louisville beat Notre Dame with their own game. Tim, I interviewed a guy who is a local radio guy in Louisville that I've known for a long time. And I asked him at the end, like, hey, how do you see this game playing out? And he told me that, Tim, how about this? Did you watch that video, by the way?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch.
He said that the concern for him was Louisville's defensive front.
No,
and they come out there, and Joe Alt literally got bull rushed and put down on his butt.
Some guy who's had blown out knees, and he's coming back, and it's leverage, man. He just didn't set good on, when you get knocked backwards, you just didn't set good. Blake Fisher's been up and down. I think it's safe to say he'll be back next year,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I think Estime is the nation's leading rusher. I think we know that's a fallacy now because those stats were the first 4 games. We could throw those out the window after the last 3 games.
Tim, I want to mention something about the first 4 games. Okay. We're both married men.
Oh, yeah.
When we went on our honeymoon, right? You had a great honeymoon, I'm guessing, Tim?
Oh, God, 2 weeks in Cancun? How do you have a bad 2 weeks in Cancun, Mike? Come on.
Mine was a week in Cancun.
2 weeks, buddy. Multiple stops, Mike. My wife planned it out. It was an unbelievable time.
I had a fantastic honeymoon, right, in Cancun. Did I know at that point that there were going to be tough times ahead in my marriage with my wife?
I hope so.
Of course. I think you can, in the moment, enjoy the good times and know that the hard times are ahead. That's kind of how I feel about this Notre Dame season. Those first few games, even though NC State I wouldn't even say punching Notre Dame in the mouth. It was a little bit like more of a
6 3 and outs. 6 3 and outs. I think that was a little bit of a telltale for down the road.
Yeah. I still think you can, at the time, enjoy that and look at the signs of what it could be. If that makes sense.
No, because you're not. You're playing teams.
And they handled business. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I guess I'm the opposite because as a longtime Notre Dame guy, that's the way it's supposed to be. And when it's not like that, you get fired. So that's the way it's supposed to be. Yes, you're supposed to go play all your third stringers
And you know what?
one double A. I get that. Navy historically, Navy is not 2022 all the time. Notre Dame has blasted Navy more than it's been close. And when it's been close, and Navy's been close or won, those are horrible Notre Dame teams. So let's be honest about that. Yeah, the whole it is what it is. It was a soft schedule, it was a cupcake schedule. We weren't going to know what Notre Dame was till the Buckeyes. They played their butts off. Unbelievable football game, and Notre Dame has not recovered the last 2 weeks. They haven't.
And I needed to enjoy the 4 wins while they were there, is what I'm saying.
No, and I get that. And they were fun. They were electric. The bombs away. Tobias looking like a dude, right? It's like, no, I mean, they were fun. I guess, it was like a nice Twinkie. And then you're like, oh, man, now this thing's starting to sit in my belly here for 3 weeks, right? So it's like, oh, it's frustrating because you just get your hopes up again, and they're yanked. And it's year 2 under Freeman. What's year 3 going to be like? Because this year, hey, I hope he battles. I hope he gets these guys to rally. I hope he can go 9-3 somehow. It's going to be tough, man, because SC is going to be a freakazoid. I'm not a fan of Clemson this year. They are very average, but they got to play at Clemson.
Yeah, their defense.
Damn well that's going to be a close game.
Yeah, their defense seems decent, but the offense, they seem like a Notre Dame in South Carolina. Like,
yes,
like offensively, like what are you?
Yes.
So, and I've tried to watch some of the Tigers, and I didn't get to watch any today, but I was like, what?
I turned it on for a few minutes.
Favorites?
Yeah, it was a close game. It just looks like, but hey, Freeman's got to do some rallying. There's, the bye is going to be nice. SC is going to be tough. You got midterms historically, but I mean, Notre Dame's beaten SC in midterm week in some years. So I don't know. I try not to look at 8,000 excuses. So it's,
Yep. Shy Sandman says, why is Tobias still a receiver one time for Parker to go? He actually wasn't. Rico Flores took his spot at Z. So
Flores started, right?
Flores got 6 targets, 3 receptions, 13 yards. Merriweather targeted, good God, 5 times, 1 catch for 17 yards. Jeez, so Merriweather played. What's that?
I didn't see those targets.
I don't remember that either. Did he?
No, neither do I.
5 times. Some of these stats can be wonky, but yeah, Merriweather, the garbage time catch.
Yeah, he's definitely not wide receiver. Wide receiver 1, so we could throw that away. Yeah.
Tim, $2 super chat from Chris Allen says, O-line and D-line are the problem. How?
I don't. You know what? D-line, man, those guys. God, once again, the O-line, you 5 block 5. 4 D linemen take 4 gaps. So there's multiple gaps in a run game. It's the big runs was not the D line. The big runs is someone not fitting over the top. The first one, Maris, where they're in the, once again, are, just like the Buckeyes, they kick into the 46 bear again. And Maris is Mike Singletary, Dick Butkus, as I like to say. He's the one true Mike. Doesn't get over the top. The dude goes 45 yards. I think Brown whiffed in the alley. The next one, their last big touchdown run, same thing. Maris blows up the A gap. JD is now the lone Mike. DJ Brown fits right into the C gap hole, whiffs on a tackle, touchdown. So it's hard to blame the D line. Some of those guys, they're not good at DN. I mean, DN, Tuli Alamaka got reached so hard on 120-yard run. Nana was out there a few. It was Burnham played tag on the one of the first pass. I think the first touchdown pass, right? He played tag. He runs by the quarterback, touches him. It's like, are you kidding me? And then there's one where Burnham just gets bull rushed so hard. But he's a redshirt freshman, right? So it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't remember if I read this. We had David with a $5. But yeah, some I had a couple super chats with no comments. But really appreciate the support though, guys. Zachary says, love 5 carries, 2 receptions, the only offensive consistency and bright spot, 7 yards per carry, 8 yards per reception, running through players' faces, and all he gets is 7 touches. Yeah. I mean, then they're starting to play from behind, so you got to chuck the ball more downfield. I mean, he got he had 5 carries, 37 yards, did great there. And then did he have any receptions? Yeah, 2 for 16. So yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you play from behind 10. The bigger thing for me is just the overall the running game just is so wonky right now. You you have to be able to do something if you're an offensive coordinator, and they are just stacking everyone on the offensive or stacking everyone in the box, some screens, a draw. There's got to be like if Notre Dame's not able to push the ball downfield, they have to do some stuff in the short passing game. Then rub routes, like they have to be able to do something to soften the defense. It just does not make sense to me what they're doing.
I mean, they did. I know they did one RPO slant that I think Flores caught. I know they did that last week against Duke. They ran that. He never looked for the ball. It would have been a first down. That killed one drive. They did a bunch of quick stuff to Tyree. They did throw the quick little line passes, I call them, where they just pop them out there. They definitely tried getting Chris Tyree involved probably more than any time this season. They targeted him multiple times. So they tried doing Tyree. They tried some quick stuff. I know you're saying a traditional, true running back screen, let them all sink in and dump it over. I agree. We've not seen much of that whatsoever. I think it just goes back to we're going to let just Sam throw the ball and find his guys, and just no rhythm. But the whole Love thing to me goes back to the beginning. If he's your starting tailback, let him be the guy then. He was the starting tailback tonight, so let him be the guy. Give him the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame loves his rotations, man. They love this rotate all these backs, and eventually it gets old. It's cool the first few games. It is. But, when push comes to shove, who's your dude? Who's your guy? Who's your guy? Who's the guy you want to play? They didn't do this with Kyron Williams, for crying out loud. It's like, who's your guy?
And that drop by Tyree, that's brutal. I mean, this offense just shoots themselves in the foot so often. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, they had to settle. I mean, I know our boy Schrader. My God, that guy could kick. He scares the hell out of me, man. But that dude could kick. So yeah, Tyree doesn't catch that slot fade, and
you know what I've said.
He kicks.
Kickers are a lottery. You're gambling, and Notre Dame hit blackjack tonight in the kicking game. Like Schrader was fantastic.
This dude can't kick. He kicks it so darn high. It's like, how do you know he makes it? He booms the hell out of that ball. He's going to drive an NFL special teams coordinator bonkers, though.
Bob says, what drop by Tyree? I don't know. Just the touchdown that he dropped, Bob.
Yeah, the one that, exactly. He would have had inside the 5.
Yeah. Theodore said this is on the athletic director and Ron, who didn't check salary requirements, who didn't pay the market rate for Ludwig, not belong a first-time head coach. Sad. So Theodore, appreciate the $5 super chat. Jack says, let's let Kyle Hamilton pick our next head coach too. Okay, Jack, appreciate the
Kyle Hamilton.
Dennis says, what happens to our run game?
Dennis, help us out, man. Exactly. It's man, some violent point of attack blocking. You see it at times, and it drifts away. There's got to be something for the, going back to what I said, 30 minutes ago, the strong safety fires off of edges where they're just no one accounting to block them. There's got to be something built in, which you said, Mike, and I know Goolsby talked about this on his show last week. We're like, Hartman's in his 50s now when we're talking about career starts. So damn well he's seen these things. How is there not a check? Because obviously if they're bringing a strong safety fire, it's straight man coverage. There's got to be a man beater to go to someone out there. And, man, they got it because Duke and Louisville have hit them with free runners in the D's and the C gaps, the outside perimeter coming and attacking them.
Oh, well, how about this picture, Tim? This was on I can't remember. This was obviously was the third time. Dennis, appreciate the super chat. You had sent this pic to our group chat.
It was just
it's like, all right, if Payne gets past that guy, he's getting tackled by the guy that's right there.
Yeah,
and then if he somehow gets past 2 guys, there's someone just unblocked there. I mean,
exactly, but that's what I mean. Like everyone's got a hat on a hat out there, so everyone's
1,
accounted for.
2,
You
3,
can't account for
4,
everybody.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
Yeah,
Louisville defenders right here.
you're in
1,
13
2,
personnel. You
3,
got who's
4,
that?
5, 6, 7 Notre Dame blockers. That's 10.
Yeah.
And yeah, Notre Dame's in. Who's this right here on the right side, Tim?
That's Fisher blocking out.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, they're in 13, and they're all on the Titans are all on the left side here.
Yeah.
So
it's exhausting. That was the third down. Which, by the way, the play before Hartman, I think this is the one. The play before where Hartman is running. It looks like he's going to hit the first down, and he slides. It's like, dude, go get the first down. You guys are struggling to get first downs. He slides, makes it 3rd and 2. That was a killer.
Garth said need Bayless and he stand back. Yeah, anybody back at this point. Joseph says predictable play calling, put in a check at the line. The guy is going to be a doctor after these 6 years. He can learn to call 2 plays. Yeah.
No, I mean, they're great points, and they're so I mean, there's got to be something. They're so high up. It's like, does Parker well, obviously we know they can't. We know they could count to 10 because they did it on defense against Ohio State. So we know they, past that, who knows? But so we know they could count. It's man, you're right. There's got to be something off of some of these things.
Yeah,
it's killed them 2 weeks in a row.
Okay. Let's see. Joseph, appreciate it. Rich says, is schedule fatigue a thing? And do we have any chance to make the playoff? No chance.
Oh, no chance.
Don't worry about the playoff.
Don't even think about that. It's done.
No playoff talk. That's done. Schedule fatigue. I hear you, Tim. But the emotions of football, it's a real thing, right? I mean,
100%.
Ohio State, Duke, Louisville, all back-to-back road games.
But
they're Super Bowls. They are ACC teams. I get it, but
they're those team Super Bowls, and I get that. So
not an excuse. It's not an excuse, but it's just kind of a real thing. So, but when you look at this before the season, like you look at Duke and Louisville as potential trap games, but you still expect Notre Dame to take care of business if they're a playoff caliber team, and they are not, and they didn't take care of business like they should have. So,
but. I get the whole schedule, and I get it, but you got to win the games. I mean, do you not want to go? I mean, you lost a game, so every single game is a Super Bowl from here on out. If you want to go to the Final Four, that's what it is.
Yeah,
and that goes back to me in the whole coaching thing of this game looked like a spring football. People go back, watch the first quarter, and count how many players played. And I mean, Mike, I hope Goolsby, I'm sure he'll talk about this. I mean, he didn't come off the field. You play. I'm a starter at the University of Notre Dame. I earned that right to start. I'm going to play. So why are you taking me out in the first quarter? That goes back to me as the mindset, going back to Joe Alt's quote, that this was the coaching staff's theme going into this game. That's not a way you talk to football players. You don't talk to them like that. And it just feels like, to me, it is.
Rich, appreciate the super chat. Scott had $5. Houston Linehan had $5, and Westward $5 super chats. We'll look for you guys in the YouTube chat. But yeah, no comments with the super chat, but do appreciate the support. We'll look to see if you guys have anything to add on your super chats. Joseph says 3 tough games in a row. We need to learn how to recover or rotate. Parker's game plan is a dumpster fire. The formation tells you everything. No creativity. Great show, Irish. Appreciate it, Joseph. I don't want to put the blame just on one person, because this is a lot bigger than just Parker.
Oh,
right. I mean, we got people spamming in the chat. Fire this person, bench this person. Parker is calling with the hand that he is dealt. I mean, the receiver, if Notre Dame, even had Louisville's receivers, some of those guys were really good. There's a couple of guys with the hyphenated last names. I don't remember them. They were some quick, good-looking players. So, you have to run a lot of 13 personnel if you're Notre Dame right now.
That's what's frustrating is
Still not a good game from Parker, but I mean, there's a lot there. I mean, Parker is not up there saying, "Hey, Joe Alt, get bull rushed and allow Sam Hartman to have a sack here." That's that. If you're Jared Parker, you are leaving Joe Alt and Blake Fisher on an island
yes.
without help. Like, I don't know what you want Jared Parker to do there, but he gets a lot of blame. A lot of the guys get a lot of blame. But yeah,
No,
Joseph, really appreciate the generous super chat.
Exactly. Tough day at the office is what it was. I mean, it sucks, Mike. Here we are. I mean, we're October 7th, and literally the rest of the season now is trying to get into the January 1st Citrus Bowl at 9-3. That's the goal now. So that's frustrating as hell. Yeah, don't go 8-4. I mean, don't go 8-4. Sam Hartman, Drew Pine tied for Notre Dame wins at 8, so you don't want that. You don't want that, Mike.
Oh my gosh.
It's all good.
It's just so frustrating because you watch some of the throws that Sam makes. You're like, holy crap, Notre Dame has not had that in a while. And
no, there are some throws that are absolutely outstanding.
Notre Dame
are.
And again, he didn't play a great game tonight at all. So he's part of the blame here for the loss tonight. But still, just overall thinking, man, like Wicked Bronco Productions said earlier, like wasting this year with Hartman. You can say let's bench Hartman and play the other guys. Like grass might not be greener on the other side.
But you have to win football games, Mike, and real easy. I think you've said it. It's like, what are the odds that those two quarterbacks are better than Sam Hartman? They're not. Let's be honest.
Yeah. If you would have told me before the start of the season, like, oh yeah, Notre Dame's definitely going 8-4 with these guys, then do you stick with Buckner? Probably. And Buckner's going to go 8-4. Yeah, probably stick with Buckner. Like, why not? And that's what I'm sure Goolsby's going to tell me tomorrow. But the thing is, only Goolsby thought that. So, Mr. Goolsby.
Well, the bottom line with the quarterback.
Your victory lap in our show Sunday night.
No, I was going to say, well, the bottom line with the quarterback is whatever Freeman did this year, he knew those quarterbacks weren't going to be his next year. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what he was really going for. I mean, he could have given Pine. I always say Pine and Buckner because someone would have started. I mean, Pine played way more. So who's to say that he's not the better quarterback? You know what I mean? In the spring this past year, if it was just those two. But I mean, he was not going to go into 2024 with Tyler Buckner, True Pine. That's why he did what he did.
I want to talk about the experience thing. So Bob says, so what? Because Bob's in the chat just saying that's the only thing.
They will get experience. Okay. Get experience doing what?
Yeah, I think this experience thing everyone's talking about is so blown out of proportion. It's an important, of course. But Tim, I have, in like listening to like Colin Cowherd over the years, whole interview former players would be like, when did you know, like seeing this rookie, when did you know if he was the guy that like, oh, you can tell in the first 3 or 4 plays, right? I mean, Pine and Buckner, like these coaches have been seeing them for a couple of years. Like how much more experience, like if you're not it, how much more experience do you need to become it? If you're not good, you're not good. So I don't know, like, oh, just you can have more experience and you can, if you don't have it, like you don't have it, like I don't know. So experience is important, obviously, but it's not going to just make you better all of a sudden. If you're not a good quarterback, you're not a good quarterback. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think that's why. I truly believe that's what Freeman did at the end. That's why he had the meeting in December with those guys last year and says, "I'm going to go get a transfer quarterback." Pine was gone the next day.
Yeah. So, really appreciate all the super chats. You guys have been fantastic. Derek says Jack Lady classes in his his genuine scheduling didn't help. 8 straight games before bye. 8 straight games before bye, Tim. I mean, have you ever seen that? And then they get 2 byes. It's what?
Well, let's talk
the week after USC and then in mid-November. Wild.
Let's talk about the scheduling. The scheduling is obviously the Navy thing that they didn't do that in the COVID year. So this was the year that they did it. And yeah, do you want to buy? They play Tennessee State. to me, that's a semi-bye because everybody played in that game. So that's not a real stress environment that you had to play against. And originally, I mean, let's don't forget, until a couple months ago, Notre Dame had a bye after Tennessee State. And then the ACC restructured schedules. Remember, they moved NC State up. Originally, that was a bye when you go back to the spring. So the ACC moved games around and they pitted NC State in there. And then Notre Dame's byes are where they're at. So, I mean, they played Navy in Dublin. They played Hyde. There was a bad Navy team. They played a bad 1AA team that, so let's do that. Power 5, and then you come back and play a MAC team. So, they 8 in a row. It is, it is what it is. I mean, in the ACC is Duke in Louisville. It's not like they're playing, Miami of 10 years ago, so to speak, or they were bad 10 years ago. That was Al Golden's years. But Florida, they're not playing Florida State this year. So it's Notre Dame's a bad football team the last few weeks, and they got exposed big time, which is another frustrating thing is the speed. How's Louisville faster than Notre Dame? And Notre Dame's got all these elite recruits. So that's another fascinating tidbit that they have more wiggle, more little juice in their steps than Notre Dame players. That's frustrating.
How about Arizona as we record this live? 13 seconds left in the first half. Arizona's up 17-7 on USC. We'll see what happens there. I mean, Maryland was up early on Ohio State.
Arizona is improved though with their coach. They have improved. I haven't seen that.
Chris says, "Does this loss define Marcus Freeman's future if there is more than one loss? If there is one more loss this year, how long does he last?"
Well, he's not going to get canned after this year. He'll get canned if he's going to sit everybody and play all the freshmen and just play freshman football this year. Sure. No, I mean, he has the goal's 9-3. I don't see this team winning 10 football games. I don't see this team winning out with the athletes they have on the perimeter. I just don't see it. So they're going to have to find a way to split Clemson and USC,
Yeah.
And then the other, like I said, the other 3 games those are not good football teams.
Yeah. Colin says, Mike, can you give people a tutorial on how to type up super chats and send them correctly? Guys, if you don't know how to send a super chat, just YouTube it, just look it up. I mean, or you don't need to super chat, just hang out in the comments and just hang out. If you don't know how to super chat, we're good. Just hang out in the YouTube chat with us, which that's more than enough help for us, but we do appreciate them, obviously. Let's start getting through these. Actually, one more ad read, and then Tim, we got to go rapid fire through some super chats. One more sponsor. Actually, hold on, guys. 58 minutes in, Tim. It felt like we just started, but it's also felt like 3 hours. What a night. Louisville. Are you looking for that perfect gift for the Notre Dame fan in your life, or maybe even yourself? Look for no further than the beautiful artwork of Barb Stevenson. She lives near the university and always been inspired to create pen and inks of the iconic buildings throughout the campus. In fact, she's even been commissioned by the University of Notre Dame many times to create artwork of those classic buildings to give as special gifts. And now she has a selection of 4 Notre Dame limited edition pen and ink prints she is offering to our listeners and YouTube viewers here at Blue and Gold. And what makes each pen and ink so unique and one of a kind is the hand painted metallic gold she applies to each one. They are simply stunning. To purchase and view Bob's art, visit her website, barbstevenson.com. Give her a call, 574-210-8388. Order now and receive free shipping anywhere in the continental United States. Barb Stevenson, BarbStephenson.com. Tim, how important is offensive line continuity? It seems to be really important having the unit play as one. All the subbing has to hurt that. No, Colin, I think you answered your own question there. The subbing thing makes no sense to me.
That's oh my God, it's frustrating. That I was blown away because I went back, I rewound we were all texting together, and I went back a few minutes and rewatched things. I'm like, Billy Schroff's out there. Kristofic's at center. So, and I think Jack Sobel had texted in his pregame like Kristofic was warming up with the twos, which at center, by the way, which he hadn't done all year long. So that's interesting because Ashton Craig has been number 2 forever. So you're playing a guy as a backup center who's never played center. All of a sudden he's playing center over Zeke Carrell. That's interesting. And just going, with the super chats, the comments, I keep hearing so many. I'm blown away. No one's asking about Freeman and some of the decisions. So that's me, man. I'm a firm believer in the head football coach. I think the head football coach controls.
Well, the 4th and 11 was bad. 4th and 11 from your own 35 was bad. What else is on your mind?
Just, I don't know, just the entire tone. I guess the tone, the whole tone of the game is just frustrating. That's it's just frustrating to where, I keep hearing, well, it's the schedules and this and that, or someone wants to blame Swarbrick. Oh, there's not a bye. Just win the damn game that's in front of you. And the guys were not prepared, Mike. They weren't prepared. And it's frustrating as someone that follows Notre Dame and watches Notre Dame as all these guys are doing tonight that's sitting here chatting with us. What did these guys do? They just had a hell of a win. And it's almost like it was just hang out. And it's not like they're going – all these night games are at the same time. Louisville's down the road, by the way. It's not like they're traveling 8 hours on a flight.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. They recruit Louisville a lot. So, they know how to get down to Louisville. So it's not time change differences and things of that nature. It's their 3rd in a row. By your 3rd in a row, you should have a rhythm. They're going to hit their 4th in a row next week. So these aren't new. So we'll move on. I'm just getting frustrated. Sorry.
B82 said, I'm worried that it'll be a rainy, cold blowout next week. I'll be at the USC game. Well,
we'll find out.
Stop in at Augie's locker room while you're in town, B82. Yeah. If it's rainy and cold, that probably helps Notre Dame, honestly. So, might not be enjoyable for the fans.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. When was the last rainy, cold one? I went to the 95 game when I got out of the Marines. I went to that game. That was rainy and cold. So I don't know if 99 was rainy. So, yeah, I guess there's been a handful.
Chad Miller with the $5 super chat. No comment for that I can see. We'll be looking in the chat for you, Chad, but really, really appreciate it. In a handsome face there too, Chad. Appreciate it. Joe says that Tim and Mike, how would you feel if Notre Dame had beat Ohio State but lost tonight? As deflated, less or more?
Oh, deflated because now you just pissed away a
deflated
a true playoff berth when you get upset like that. So, beating Ohio State is not beating them stinks to high heck. How's that?
Yeah, deflated, but just a totally different.
Yeah, it'd be a different vibe, as in Notre Dame was right there at the cusp and didn't handle business. It'd be like Miami in 2017 when Notre Dame was number 3 and lost at Miami the way they did. So, yeah.
Chris says Miami just lost by running the ball and not taking a knee. Not the only coach making mind-numbing decisions. So this super chat from Chris was a half hour ago as we're live. So you guys have
Miami lost tonight, huh? They were ranked
they lost to Georgia Tech.
Wow. See, upsets, baby, upsets.
MK says fire Parker and Gino Guiduglia interim. So there you go.
All right.
We'll see. I don't know.
So Gino, the interim, the quarterback coach. So
maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Joel says, why does this team lack discipline? Mayer should have been on the bench for that face mask.
Hey, I will say the face mask sucks because he got hit in the back. He's falling, and as he's falling, grabbed it. So it's not like he retaliated and ripped the guy's mask and was doing something. He got hit in the back. That was a killer because they were getting off the field. So, that was a killer. But your point about benching is they don't play. I mean, Goolsby talks about this all the time. They don't play any backup linebackers. Snead came in. Snead was an Aztec guy. Every time they went Aztec, their dime package, Snead was in that package. But they don't play any backups. So Which is interesting because I watched the entire A&M Bama game. A&M plays a true freshman at Mike, does all the checks and does all the signals. So how Notre Dame linebackers can't do that, you're asking the wrong guy.
Cameron, appreciate the generous $20 super chat. He says, what gets this team over the hump other than lowering academic standards, which is not going to happen. Generally speaking, specific cases potentially, but
Just
coach better, play better, recruit better. I mean,
get bigger, faster, stronger.
get bigger, faster, stronger.
Get guys with some man. I've said it nonstop. I'm just a firm believer. I mean, Louisville had dudes that that running back was unbelievable. That guy could cut on a dime. You got to find guys like that. So you got to find guys like if they can play at Louisville, they'll find them. Every time Notre Dame seems to lose, we watch the other team and they have all these guys that could cut and make plays. So
Overshadow Sean says we've been asking that since the 90s.
Yes, we have. But man, yeah, I won't go into that rant since then. So
Cameron, really appreciate it. Very generous. Oh, there's Chad. Why does it seem like most of our running plays are so long to develop? Is the play design making estimate look a step slow? Tim, do you have any thoughts on that?
It looks slow because the inside runs look slow because they run duo, which is double teams, and they're trying to read, and the back has to read it. So that's a hair slow. When you see Hartman do the pause handoff, that's duo, just a little telltale for down the road. And they've been running a bunch of counters. They've been running a lot of counters, which is obviously slow developing, trying to gap everybody and hit the hole. So that's kind of what we've seen the last few weeks.
Chris's comment here, at least as far as I know, we had 10 players on every play. Someone on the message board. Oh God, that just reminds me of the message board. Is that place just burned down?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll check in on that thing in about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Gosh. It doesn't look. Doesn't look to be too bad, just based on threads. But
there you go. There you go. You guys says bring in Jeff Saturday. Oh my God, that's the best.
Someone said on a third down play that the Notre Dame offense will be at 10 plays. I'm like, or 10 players. Like, please don't be true. Okay, so yeah, Chad appreciated that. Wash Boy says Willingham no emotion on the sideline, Freeman no emotion on the sideline.
Yeah, when you say what do you say emotion? You just want a head coach gut punching guys. Lou Holtz was.
Yeah, you want purple face Brian Kelly out
there? Yeah. Kelly had a lot of emotion, lost his mind at time, and when Kelly quit doing that, they won 10 games every single year, and he went to the playoffs twice. So without yelling and screaming. Yeah. Mike Goolsby, if he's watching, I haven't chatted with him in a bit, but he had a great comment last week about you're either in this or you're not, ride or die or something like that. He said about Freeman, and my point is, well, he's here, so you really don't have a choice. He's here. You have to, whether you support him or not, he's here for whatever it is, and I just hope it doesn't end the same way every single other head coach hire without experience ends. So it's, we'll find out. It's still year 2, but man, that Ohio State stigma is going to stick. The streak is going to stick. The ACC streak is going to, it's going to be interesting, Mike. Next year 3 is going to be fascinating. The extended playoffs. Where does Marcus Freeman go? Because where does he go at one position? And that's quarterback. But because I've already heard people say, oh, next year's schedule is easy. Man, you don't know that. This is the transfer portal era. You have zero clue on what next year's schedule is. Duke had 20 transfers. Every time Louisville was talking about a kid tonight, the announcers, he's transfer from here, transfer from. You have no clue on schedule.
Yeah.
No.
It's a good point. For this team, for this schedule, it was the big 3, Tim, and then Duke and Louisville give Notre Dame a run for the money. Tim, we could be talking about a 4-3 Notre Dame team. Seriously, They very well could have lost a Duke.
But I'm one of those. It's, I guess, the Jerry Seinfeld in me, the guy who's watched every Seinfeld episode. That, even Steven, you lose the Ohio State. They beat Duke the exact same way they lost. Duke drops 8, they get the first down. Notre Dame drops 8, Buckeye. You know what I mean? So that's one and the same, so to speak.
Yeah, and then Louisville just smacked Notre Dame round.
Louisville is 2017 Miami, 2019 Michigan, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
just hammered them.
Yeah,
physically, which is it's like crazy to think. Like Joe Alt was horrible. The O line, the 2021 O line didn't look this bad, and that was bad group. All right, so tonight was horrible, man, horrible. And it's like, why? I mean, I'm sure there's comments like there's some guys on the message board that are awesome, you know, when we talk history and all that. But it always seems like, man, when push comes to shove in some of these games, the Notre Dame O line just wets the bed, and it's horrible.
Usually I fight off a yawn, but I just let that one just.
I just did one 5 minutes ago, but keep rolling, man. We're here if people want to keep talking.
Yeah, I might have to put on my blue light glasses. My eyes are starting to hurt here. Maris has no business playing. Team is all undisciplined. O-line is very overrated. And coaching staff is very clearly weak. $5 super chat from Colin. I mean, you should speak your mind. I mean, seriously.
As I like to say, if he has no business playing, who's playing? Who's on that bench that should be playing? Because they're not playing, which tells you, I think that tells you more about the guys on the bench than the guys playing.
Yeah. Colin, appreciate the 10. Banjo says this loss is on Jack Swarbrick. Need to pay for elite offensive coordinators.
Right.
I mean, who's.
What do you mean? It's like, okay,
Ludwig would be better. I don't know.
Yeah, I get the whole. God, I forgot his name for 12 seconds. Ludwig. I get the whole Ludwig thing, but it's like the whole interview thing was interesting. He only interviewed, 2 guys. How's the K-State OC doing these days? Anyone watch that Oklahoma State game last night? Holy moly. So those were his interview guys. And Utah's offense is atrocious this year. So tried other guys. Interesting that Deion Sanders could get a head coach out of the MAC to be his OC. That guy, did they win, by the way? Someone in the chat post that, because I know they were down. Did Colorado come back and win? That offense is dynamic. Sean Lewis, who was the Kent State, Toledo coach, whatever. That's a good ball coach right there.
Yeah, let us know on that. Tim Miles says it just seems like lazy analysis, but I really do think the majority of the offense problem is we don't have any outside talent that stretches the field. Even if you don't complete it, at least throw it. Do you think that's the number one problem with the offense right now, above all things, is just the receivers? Like, it's just so easy to defend Notre Dame because you can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Tim, have you said that before?
Oh my God. And you know what's funny is I say it and people just, they just attack me. Oh my God, we got these, look at all these 4 stars. They don't perform. They just haven't. They just haven't yet. We're going to hear for the next 6 months how great this 2024 receiver class in. Man, we'll see. We'll see. The odds of them flopping are high because everyone's been flopping since 2020. That comes in here highly ranked as a wide receiver. So we'll see. But it's the outside receivers, because it's real easy. If you have no threats on the outside, you could plug everyone and their mother inside and stop the run. But if you have a go-to guy outside, you got to keep someone back, get someone out of the box. It ain't rocket science, man. It is easy as hell. And Notre Dame is not good at wide receiver. And I'm glad people are starting to come to grips to this, because I know Goolsby and I have been talking about this for 9 months.
Yeah. Tim Miles, appreciate the super chat. Jack says, Maris, no stats in the OU game.
OSU.
OSU game, 60 snaps. And tonight with the ball, game line 15. Yeah. Goolsby, I'm sure.
We talked about that earlier, yeah.
Yeah, Goolsby will have a field day with that tomorrow night. Jack, appreciate the super chat. Kirk says NC State defense showed the way to stop our offense, bring the house, and stop the run because the receivers can't win against man-to-man coverage. Yeah. Yep, Kirk, that's exactly what I've been saying as well. David says poor play calling by Parker on 3rd down, trying to be too cute. The too cute thing, I get it, but the thing is, if those things work, then it's, he's a genius. So he's either too cute and an idiot or a genius. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're overthinking it for sure. Like, And then it's like, all right, pound estimate up the middle on 3rd and short, and then they do, and then it's like a loss of 4 yards. Like just nothing was working. I don't have the answer. If I did have the answers, I would be Notre Dame's offense coordinator, but I'm not. But anyways, cannot convert 3rd and 1, should have punted, face mask. I mean, just so much. And again, I think so many people get blamed for this game and this loss for Notre Dame. But Rich says, what I don't understand is we always have top offensive line draft picks and are considered the top, but this happens. I mean,
we haven't had top line picks last couple of years.
Some of it, Tim, is what we just talked about. You only have 5 offensive linemen. If they're bringing, right, 7, 8 guys, even they can only block 5. Then you're talking about the tight ends are blocking now too. So like it even when Hartman gets sacked, it's not always on the offensive line.
Well, like I told you guys on the 1 sack, there's literally one whole sack. The entire 5 offensive linemen all slide to the right. Everyone slides to the right. Payne's in. Payne slides to the right. It's like goofy. You have 3 tons of meat in front of you sliding to the right, go to the left, and the guy does the looper, and it looks like Joe Alt gives up a sack. That's on, I bet you, $5. There's no way Payne was supposed to go there. He screwed that up. So that's an example of it's not always on the O-line, yes.
Did you think that ball from Hartman to Tyree was perfect?
Are you talking about the slot fade that he dropped? Yeah, I mean, Tyree's a 5'8" wide receiver who's never played wide receiver before. It's a tough catch. It's a tough catch.
Not an easy catch. It's not an easy catch.
Oh no, it's a tough catch because he's never done it before.
But my question is, when you throw a deep ball over the outside shoulders, exactly where it's supposed to go. Exactly where it's supposed to go. Bob tells me, too bad that Tyree couldn't catch the ball. Sam Hartman threw to the wrong side. I mean, that's exactly where it's supposed to be, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob, I just, if you just saw me laughing about 30 seconds ago, it's because Bob's comment. I'm just like, I get that you hate Sam Hartman. No, it's not the wrong side. That's exactly where it's supposed to be. Love you though, Bob. Rich says, oh, we just talked about that. Appreciate it, Rich. Pilney Shakespeare's 35. Really appreciate the generous $20 super chat. What happened to the stable of backs? No checkdowns. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like, I mean, I can remember a check down from Hartman to Love, but even the quick passing game, I miss that. Like, just I love the dink and dunk. You guys are like, oh, I don't like the dink. I love the dink and dunk. You need to be able to have some shots down the field, right? Or otherwise, they're just going to jump everything. But I mean, just anything to get positive yards. So many just negative plays for Notre Dame. But Pilney says, what happened to the stable backs? No checkdowns. Hartman reminds me of Mahomes not wanting to check down early in his career and forcing throws. I don't know if I agree with that.
The stable of backs, the 5-headed monster, that came during the scrimmages, as I like to say at the beginning. I mean, that came during the beginning of the year when you could rotate everyone, and it's like, whoa, look at the cool 5 backs are in the game. Who cares? You could do that in those games. In these games, you can't. So you're not going to play 5 backs. Payne, for as good he is, he's not a guy you're going to feed 15 times to and be the dude. They all have their little tiny roles. McCullough's talked about that. Every guy's got their role. So, which is another thing. If you have 5 guys with 5 roles, that means you don't have one that could do all. So, it's going back to Kyron Williams, Dexter Williams when he played, Josh Adams. Those guys, I mean, they were in there all the time. So, it just goes back to this multiple thing. Freeman likes to be multiple and 8,000 looks and all this stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, Pelney, really appreciate the very generous super chat. Marcus Freeman calling timeouts when the game is done. I mean, I wasn't really watching, so I'll take your word for it, though, Indy Nation. $2 super chat. Thanks, Della Alexander. Following this team's has been 32 years of pain. Tim Coffee, appreciate the 5.
We got the Dell in there, huh? We got the Dell.
Honestly, Tim, the whole how often you think about the Roman Empire? That whole thing. How often do you think about Dell Alexander? That's my Roman Empire. Because I think
Dell Okay, so that
Oh,
was Jordan Johnson, who was the cat's meow, which Notre Dame is getting one of those again this year, right? So we'll see how that goes. Cam Williams.
was that like a subtle shot at Cam?
No, it's not. It's not. No. It's a shot at the recruiting rankings. Is what I'm
you're
trying
saying
to.
that Cam's going to be the next one? Like, oh, everyone wants him to play as a true freshman.
We don't know exactly. We don't know. We have no clue. So it's not a Cam Williams film is outstanding. What's he going to do at Notre Dame? We have no clue. Xavier Watts was awesome. He's playing safety. So and then you had the guy out of Boston who went to the Ivy League. 2021 now. You got top 100 Lorenzo Styles. Deion Colsey was top 100, top 105-ish. What have they done? Jaden Thomas is the stud out of that group. So obviously he's been nicked up. 2022 is, well, wait till Tobias is here. We're going to, oh my God, this is the next Michael Floyd. 2023 is Greathouse and Flores, solid wide receivers, but they're limited. Braylon James is the guy who runs a 4.2. Are we ever going to see him? That's it. Yeah. How did Mike Goolsby, it's like, God, please talk about this tomorrow night, Mike. How did a walk-on get on the field before Braylon James? So he could run the vertical. He was in a trips. He ran the deep bend route, as I call it. But Braylon James can't do that. So we'll see, man.
We've talked about this. If the staff felt Braylon James was ready to play, they'd play him.
I agree. No,
same thing why Jordan Johnson didn't play. Jordan Johnson was not ready to play for Notre Dame. They didn't play him, and that one.
Totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. There's your recruit rankings, which everyone gets hyped up about. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know, Mike. I'm to the point with wide receiver recruit rankings. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
that's just me. I guess I'm numb right now, Mike.
Just good pieces at receiver with Flores, Greathouse, and Thomas, but they're not number ones. They don't have a number one receiver. That's the biggest problem for me.
They're going to go into next season. Great talking right here. They're going to go into next season with the same core. So they're going to have no number ones again next year. Thomas is not a dude. Thomas is a solid wide receiver. And Greathouse. I mean, Greathouse's touchdowns came on broken plays. Let's don't forget. It's not like he's running by guys and whatnot. And Florida, they're solid. I'm not being negative on that. They are solid college football players. They are, but they are not going to extend, the back end of a defense to get dudes out of the box so Notre Dame could run the damn ball.
Yeah,
that's what's frustrating.
What's frustrating also is that they bring in Caleb Smith from Virginia Tech. I honestly think he's the same kind of Jaden Thomas boundary.
Yeah, Thomas, Colsey, same guy.
And of course that didn't work out. And so they need, if I am a transfer receiver, I'm some MAC guy and I'm a big time player, whatever it is, and I'm looking to take that step up. Oh my God, I'm looking at my chops to go to Notre Dame. I mean, because they need you so badly.
How about someone that's never been mentioned in 10 months is like, can you imagine Lindsey if he was on this team? Just the speed factor. I mean, he ran by dudes last year and Pine and Buckner couldn't hit him. So I've thought of him sometimes. It's like, I mean, literally he was running by dudes last year and they just never hit him. If he was on, that's the recruiting miss. How do they not? It's like, I know it's hard to play for a 6th year. I think it's fascinating. Guys are in college for 6 years, but that's the one. It's like, dude, just come back. You're done in December. Come back. Give us that go threat. So
it's not a bad point. I had not thought about that.
Yeah, Lindsey. And then one thing we haven't talked a lot about, or people haven't talked about because they've been so hyped on this receiver group is the transfers. They went into this season thinking these were their dudes, which I'm lost at that. But.
Well, again, they did bring in Smith to help the dude, to help the room, and didn't.
But your point's perfect. That guy is Colsey Thomas. Exactly. I think you probably even talked about it when he signed, when he came aboard. Yeah.
Go Irish has a $10 super chat. By the way, Tim, what color tie are you wearing?
Black, death.
Can we? Okay. So we did not discuss this. I thought about bringing up my tie color in the first minute of the show, and I just forgot.
I literally put on a black one for the loss. So.
I put on a black tie for the loss, and I literally told my wife, My tie, by the way, like, because this is all you see. My tie, like, is this long. Like, this is how long my tie is. Because you guys
I
don't
tie
see
mine.
me.
I tie it.
I
It's
walk
real.
into my tie. I walk in my, kiss my wife goodnight, and I look like a goof, right? I mean, my tie is literally this long. It goes down. It doesn't even touch my belly button. I'm wearing gym shorts. I just look like a mess. But you guys don't see that, so it doesn't matter. And and she laughs at me, of course, because look at me. And she says, "Why are you wearing a black tie? You never wear black ties." I said, "It's to the death of Notre Dame's 23 season." So, Go Irish says, "Going for it on 4th and 11 with 10 minutes left, wanting estimate to stop at the one to set up the field goal against Duke. Cheese and leave 10 men on the field against Ohio State. Bad, just bad. Yeah, not good, Bob. Not good." So,
Yeah,
yeah,
no
I mean, I don't know. $10 super
no
chat.
comment on that. I appreciate the super chat.
Very
Everything
generous,
is
but
perfect. You said it
we're,
all.
we're befuddled just like you are, Go Irish. I appreciate it. Brian
Appreciate
O'Neill,
that.
$1 super chat. Don't see a comment, but it really do appreciate the buck. Jack says, How about Louisville playing? I'm shipping up to Boston once they were up 3 scores."
Yeah, they're probably just having a little poking a little fun at Notre Dame because that's their theme music.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Got it.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
song.
That's great
Okay,
that you caught that. I didn't hear that, so that's cool.
okay. Jack, appreciate the support. No, I didn't catch that either. I'm like, what are you talking about? That makes sense. Connor says, how bad was that Freeman timeout at the end of the first half? He got bailed out by the mist.
Well, that's going back to Freeman always talks about he wants to be aggressive and go after it. He's trying to get the ball back to Hartman, and which, by the way, he had 4 successful 2-minute drives this year, and tonight was the first one he didn't score on a 2-minute drive. So that's what he was trying to do, just get the ball back to him so we could see what he could do, work some magic, and there's zero magic tonight.
Oh man, YouTube chat is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I mean, they called the timeout with 90 seconds left, right? To get, I mean, but yeah. Connor, appreciate it. Jason says, honestly, is this coaching staff in over their heads? If you move on in season from Parker, who's going to take over the offense?
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing them move off in season unless they lose like 2 more games, which is very much possible. But still, I don't think they're going to move off them. But if they would, it would be Gaduli, who does have offensive coordinator experience. So.
Just 1 last year. Joe Rudolph has 10, so heck of a lot more than Gino. No, but they're not. I mean, they're not going to. He's a first-year OC at Notre Dame with a second-year head coach who's learning on the job still. So, he's not going to fire his buddy who he coached. He's known for a dozen years from his Purdue.
Oh, the buddy thing. I'm sure that is going to get people going as well.
There you go.
Cody says 24 years old and a lot of football under his belt, but it feels like Sam Hartman doesn't know how to win the big games. This reeks of Wake Forest stank. He did just a week ago. Again, I think he's a good quarterback. Yeah. I'm gonna go on a little discussion here, Tim, and help me if I'm not making sense and you get where I'm going. The whole rankings thing about we ranked to the draft. That's how, like, on 3, and I think even 24/7 Rivals just ranks based off whatever the weather is. Something, I don't know what Rivals does, but they say how we rank you is where we think you're going to end up in the NFL draft. That's basically how they determine success, right? So if we have 32 5-stars, we believe that you guys are going to go dominate in college, and do really well and get picked in the first round of the NFL draft. So you can have a really good college career, like a Sam Hartman, and then not go be a high draft pick, right? Like, it's not a perfect ranking system. You can be excellent in college and not get drafted high in the NFL. And people hate that system. You guys tell me all the time how you don't like that ranking system. You just think it should be based on what college stats. Like that's how. Like I think for the ranking guys, they're trying to determine success. Like we rank these guys this. It's kind of holding themselves accountable, being like, are we even good at this whole rankings thing? So it's where they get the draft pick. So kind of tie it in here. If Sam Hartman coming into the season, you got, buttheads like me are saying Sam Hartman is this and that, and he's going to just be this absolute truck at the quarterback position. How could he be so dominant? But why are people still on me saying he'd be like a 6th or 7th round draft pick, right? Like, how is he the best quarterback in the country, but be a 6th, 7th round draft pick? You guys follow my line? Am I making sense so far, Tim? Just thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking about Hartman in the NFL, he's built like Drew Pine, so I don't think he's going to be an NFL guy.
So is Kyler Murray, and that's my point.
Yeah, but Murray could run a 4.2.
My point,
chuck it 70 yards.
Exactly my point. So Sam Hartman, the limitations to why he's not going to be a high draft pick, you see them on the field Saturday nights. And I'm not knocking Hartman. I love Hartman more than most. But the point being that for Hartman to succeed, things have to structure around him. And Goolsby talks about this, has to be there because he's not Kyler Murray. He's not, heck, even like Baker Mayfield, like that, even athleticism. I think Baker's pretty athletic quarterback. He's not that. And when your offensive line breaks down and your receivers stink and you say, okay, Sam, we need you to fix it, it's going to be really difficult for him to do so. And I think if Goolsby watching, he's probably like, preach, Singer. So I think that's fair, Tim. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, are you trying to say that Hartman he gets a pass in a way, I guess, but it's like I
don't know if he gets. I'm just saying what it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say. Yeah, I don't want to use the word pass. Bad tonight, man. It's bad. It stinks because someone in the chat here just said he's never felt pressure like Notre Dame. True, he was at Wake. He did take Wake to an ACC title game. He got Wake ranked twice in the top 10 during his times, and then they would lose. But that's Wake Forest. They don't have juggernauts to contend with. You would think Notre Dame does have more of those. Just don't have them at wide receiver. I think Notre Dame, they got overwhelmed on the O-line because the game plan is these dudes aren't going to beat us, so we're just going to cover the living hell out of them and fill gaps with everyone else that's free. And that's the game plan, and it works. It goes back to Navy last year. It works. You heat them up, and it works. Duke didn't blitz a lot last week. They played a lot of 4-man zone D, but their zone would blanket the hell out of Notre Dame receivers because they would play matchup in their pattern reads, and they just eat Notre Dame up. So Notre Dame's got a hell of a tight end. They got to find a way to get the ball to Love more. God, we always mention him. He is dynamic. That he is the best looking 4-yard runner out there. So they got to find a way to get him the ball some, because you see when they go deep to Flores, it just doesn't work. So it's just Tobias is what it is. It's just frustrating, man. We're going to appreciate some of these guys.
Super that John said, I think the defense just missed another tackle.
Yeah, a lot. Let's just 5 seconds, man. A lot. Brown, Marist, Watts, just tons. Tons between those three, run, Mike. I bet you 15 between those three.
Brown, I wrote it in my notes. Let me see if I can find it.
Watts misses a lot, and Leof. Those three missed a lot tonight. It was bad.
But there was that one touchdown run that they broke, and Brown was right there.
There's two. He was right there on 2 touchdown runs. He's right there. Play.
Yeah, I wrote down Notre Dame stopped Louisville, Marist face mask, DJ, and then that touchdown run to put Louisville up 24-13, DJ Brown. I mean, if he makes the tackle, it's 3 or 4 yard gain. He just dives at the ankles, 24-13. So
that goes. You got to have a 6-year quarterback to compete, and you got to have a 6-year safety to play defense this year, and that's frustrating.
Pilney says quick hitters would have worked. We never seem to try them. I mean, yeah. I mean, they have just
They
not.
did an RPO. You know what? They hit a nice slant on our RPO. They tried it last week. It was wide open to Rico Flores, and Flores never looked at the ball, and that was one of the incompletions against Duke. They hit one against Ohio State, if my memory's right. They there are times where they do that, and then you don't see it ever
Go away from
again.
it. Yeah.
Which is just like, and those are Hartman's. That's part of his game is the quick little things. So they just don't.
Yeah. He says we have fast, elusive runners, but don't use them. No passes, running backs in the flat. It just goes back to this rhythm. I don't know, Tim. We're sounding like a broken record at this point, but Pilney, appreciate both of your very generous super chats. Andrew says Bob Stoops, 5'9" receivers getting open for Oklahoma. Notre Dame has numerous players better than him. The difference Levy can scheme, experience matters. Andrew says.
Same thing at A&M. A&M, the quarterback is throwing to his brother. That guy's getting open. He beat Caleb Downs a couple times today on some one-on-one routes. So a couple walk-on brothers out there catching balls.
Andrew, appreciate it. Matt says our offense has to figure out how to punish teams for stacking the box with quick short passes. We have the QB for it. They got to figure out something because, oh, God.
Well, they're going to see it next week. I mean, SC, I know we're going to hear all week, oh, they're horrible on defense. You know, they got athletes all over the place. They're going to be able to match up with Notre Dame and run with them. Notre Dame's going to have to figure out how to beat their linebackers and so on and so on.
Matt, appreciate the 10 there. Colin says every year they call us overrated, and it's correct. Yeah. Appreciate the 2. Peter says, why not rotate the quarterbacks like we do everyone else? We took out our center for no reason. That would be quite the bold thing if Notre Dame started rotating quarterbacks. You don't see that often. But yeah. I don't understand the offensive line rotation against Louisville. Maybe try that against Tennessee State, Central Michigan. Very strange. Brian, another $1 super chat. Don't see a comment that the tag with it. But Brian, appreciate both of your super chats tonight. Connor says I was referring to the timeout with 58 seconds left after Hartman was sacked and it was 3rd and 13. Should have made Louisville take a timeout there. Oh, okay, so I was talking about to stop him. Okay, I got you. Gotcha. Trust his quarterback in 3rd and 13, I guess. I don't know. Because if Notre Dame converts there, then it was a genius thing. It doesn't. It's dumb. It was aggressive. It was a bad.
Yeah, but he's right. At that point in the first half, where you're struggling so bad, it's 3rd and 13. You got nothing going on. What's the odds of you going 80? I hear you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Connor. And ND Nation says Sam has no time and 0 receivers beat SC. Yeah, Notre Dame's gonna. I mean, so you had 20 tonight. What was last week, Tim? What was 21. The score last week?
21.
So 21-14. Was it 14? 21-14? 17?
Yeah, 21-14.
14, right? They covered, and then 14 against Ohio State. So it might need to add those numbers up, and then you can beat USC. Add the 3 numbers up. Oh gosh. So ND Nation. So this is a comment from Tim. Brian, no problem, man. 4 super chats in a row, and I messed up off the one for next week. Yeah, just you guys don't know. Just like Google it, and I'm sure you can watch a tutorial. And Brian, seriously, just drop like 90 cents or something, 99 cents, and I'll find you. I'll remember you, Brian. Yeah, you guys don't need to do a whole big super chat. We just appreciate you guys watching. Tim says it's time for the Faison Phenom needed more reps. That should be interesting. Moving forward, how he gets what his reps look like. So we are going to that's going to be the final call on super chat. Tim Coffey, really appreciate the 2 there. But we are going to end with this one comment from 11:15 p.m. Eastern time. Jeff said, "Where do we go from here?" Let's wrap it up there, Tim. You have USC.
They're losing 20-14. Yeah, but they got McMillan, who's a stud. You remember him. Stud wide receiver out of Servite, who went to Arizona, originally committed to Oregon, and then said Arizona, freak. He was state player of the year out of California, out of Servite, out of the Trinity League. Wow, another Notre Dame non-Trinity League player. There we go.
What are you even talking about right now? You talking about USC?
No, I'm talking about the Arizona. Arizona's beating them, and they got some studs. Arizona's playing their butt off. They're losing. SC's losing. So yeah, where do we go from here? Regroup, figure out the offense, try and score some points because you're going to need points. You have a bye. Coming out of the bye, you got Pitt, correct? Pitt, and then Clemson, then another bye. Then it's Wake Forest and Stanford. So, I mean, some guy said, "Oh my God, this is Notre Dame. We shouldn't be playing for 9-3." Well, you kind of are now, guys.
I mean,
you are where you are. Like last year. Remember, Mike? Last year we used to talk about, "Oh man, if they could get to 8-4." People, how can you say that about Notre Dame? Because that's where they're at.
It's
where they're at.
Tim, I could not agree with you more. I understand Ghouls. This is what I'm arguing with Ghouls people about last week. It's like this is not what we brought Sam Hartman in there. Yeah, well, no shit. That's why you don't play anyone to not play well. Like, yeah, of course you bring in Sam Hartman to win the games, but you're not. And what are you going to do? Sit and pout? Like, figure it out and play better next week. Go and win as many games as you can. That's it.
No, that's what you got to do. They got to find a way to win a couple of these games. They got 3 easy. I mean, I hate to say the word easy, but
you know what, Tim?
It's right there. If they could finish 9-3, I think 9-3 will get them the Citrus Bowl. I think that's the January 1st one. I always get Citrus Bowl, Gator Bowl, Outback, all a little screwed up. But I think the Citrus, that's the one Purdue and LSU played in last year. That's the January 1st one. So if they could get there 9-3 with a shot to win 10 in a bowl game, they're not going to a New Year's 6 because they're not going to go 10-2. If they go 10-2, Mike Singer and Tim Hyde are going to be stunned.
Yeah, so, they're not going 10-2.
We'll be stunned. So
I think 9-3.
If they go, I'll tell you what, man. If Marcus Freeman's 8-4 2 years in a row, I wish him luck next year.
Yeah,
I really do. I really do.
You know, you split with Southern Cal, Clemson. You beat Stanford in front of 15 people, and then you beat Wake and Pittsburgh at home. Shouldn't be crazy. But Tim, I'm going to end this on a kind of a downer note. Just think again, we're in the transfer portal era. I think Notre Dame, they're typically bringing anywhere between like 4 to 7 guys in a transfer portal window. So the team can look a lot different based on some additions there. I get it. But overall, you think about this team next year, is it better?
Well, okay. Well, let's just take the obvious real quick. Joe Alt's going to be gone.
Alt's gone. Tim, I bet Esteme's gone.
Your receivers. Hold on 2 seconds. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's get there. I'm with you. I've always been Esteme's gone. Okay. He hasn't done a damn thing in the last few weeks. So let's just be honest. As the team's gotten tougher, his yards have gotten demolished.
But a running back, I mean, Kyron Williams left and was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, but Kyron Williams,
you got to go. If you're getting drafted in the top 5 rounds, you got to go.
Kyron Williams was team MVP, back-to-back 1,000-plus yards. So he was a different dude than Estime. We'll see. Plus, he's already proven he had over 120 last week. He could play in the NFL. Estime, we'll find out. I've always been on your side. I think he is going pro, so let's just stipulate he'll go pro.
Yeah.
Estimate Alt go pro. Cam Hart's not coming back for
a 6. This out there, Tim.
They got
Mitch Evans. Mitch Evans is a junior.
Yeah, but he's not going to be.
Who knows, Tim? What if he just balls out? Like, I think he comes back too. But who the hell knows?
If he goes pro, great. Next tight end in. He just keeps this hamster wheel going for tight end. Fisher's got to come back. They got to figure out center because is Zeke really going to play a 6 year? No.
Defense looks totally different next year.
Yeah.
So much changeover.
I was always in the camp that if Watts and Mills balled out, do they, because they have a 5th year, they're probably going to have to come back and play their 5th year. I don't see them being highly ranked guys. I think it sounds like all the 3 linebackers are planning to leave, which is, so who in the heck's calling signals at A&M with 100,000 people, man? Holy moly.
Tim, I'm just, obviously quarterback. I'm leaning towards believing that they will take someone. So it's just like, oh God, next year look like.
How about this? So I think you or Horka, someone wrote maybe, or it's also you. I know you've talked about how Notre Dame's always going to be like 5, 6, take 7. Why don't they go out there and take a dozen? I mean, seriously, go find more dudes because they got to know some of these guys. Maybe they've recruited and just.
I think if
you'd be more aggressive, I don't know,
because it's all grad transfer guys.
unless
You gonna take like 15 grad transfers? Like,
if they have to, who cares?
I don't think they're
If you
gonna
can
do
get a
that.
wide receiver, no. But that's going to be, as we sign off, and these will be talking things down the road. We all talk about here in the chat and everything. But what has happened? Has Freeman and the powers that be worked out a way to bring in a freshman, a redshirt? You know what I mean? A redshirt freshman. Are there? Because it is. I mean, Freeman's talked about it's up to each department. I think even Swarbrick's talked about that. It's if you're bringing in a guy who's played 2 years and he's an English major, it's up to that English department to accept the credits if he's transferring in from Cincinnati, let's say. So how is that going to work to give guys shots, especially if you're transferring in, Mike, and you're a junior and you're in good standing at your university and you've taken your 60 units? How can you not? So that's going to be a nice battle to, as we learned down the road, if Freeman's really made headway into that. If not, then you're right. They're going to stick to the freshmen or excuse me, the grad transfers and just play the guys you have on your roster. That's going to be an interesting conversation in December.
Oh, Tim.
I know. It really is.
Had you been saying it's all about 2024? What was your thing? It's all about 20.
Well, 2024 is year 3, the history of year 3 for all those that know Notre Dame.
I'm nervous.
That's why I wish Marcus Freeman luck. And if he goes 8-4 this year, the history of Notre Dame hiring rookie head coaches is what it is. It's long and it's not successful. So I hope he doesn't go 8-4. Because I do not want to talk about Hartman and Pine tied with 8 wins, Mike. But you know what? Just the last thing, it's because someone talked about trying to play the other guys. Maybe you do in a few of these games, because what's the odds of Hartman being here in a bowl game, right? So and Jelly Minchie are going to have to play in that bowl game.
Oh yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah,
I think he'll play. If Sam Hartman skips the bowl game to go get no, he's going to play in the bowl game.
He's going to play. He's going to play in the 8-4 Bluebonnet Bowl.
I think so.
Okay.
I think to improve any draft stock, he needs to.
He's got 12 games at Notre Dame. Why does he need a bowl game that guys sit out and go pro and do?
You know what's better than 12? 10, 13. So there you go. And
I agree.
Also, if he leaves, if he dips like that, and he's not like a Kyle Hamilton, like Kyle Hamilton, I don't want to get hurt because I'm about to be a first round pick, or hell, even Kyron. If Hartman does that after all that he is like preached and like what he's been to that locker room, that would be a gut punch. So I doubt it.
Yeah, but who cares? Man, see, I guess I'm the opposite. It's like, who cares what he's preached if he's 8-4?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who cares? He gave the guys beat. You're 8-4.
Yeah, but then that's us. That's you talking as a Notre Dame fan. I don't know if that's.
And I'm also not throwing all the blame on him, because there's just some things he's stuck at. And who would have thought that he had better wide receivers at Wake Forest than Notre Dame? Correct.
All right. Well, with that, just glowing reviews and optimism and all of the the hopium in the world there.
A tough one, man. At least Stanford was 3-3, right? And you had the Clemson upset a few weeks later. Yeah,
I have to stand up my ass.
Let's go. Let's sign off. Let's get out of here.
All right, Goolsby show most likely tomorrow night. I'm gonna shoot him a text here in a minute. Yep, just texted him. So probably 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm guessing. We'll have a Goolsby show. Oh, I might need a cold one to get through that one. It's gonna be tough. So yeah, we'll have the Goolsby show, and Tim will be back on our Wednesday show this upcoming week. Find some stuff to talk about. So lock into our Blue and Gold YouTube channel right now. I'm about to go edit another video. Jack Sobel and Tyler Horka were at the game, and they have a video of them talking for about 10 minutes or so. So I'll get that up on our YouTube channel, and head over to blueandgold.com. Sign up for just $1 for your first month. And go complain on the message board about what you saw tonight, because you guys have earned the right to complain. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up the show there. Appreciate you all for watching or listening, and as always, we will catch you next time.